to finally our newest edition of the Third Eye Sister Souls podcast. Today is a special edition. This is our Halloween edition. I'm Monique Burnett.
And I am Aurora Belcia, and it's great to have you guys. We have something pretty special today, don't we, Monique? Our first guest, right? Hopefully.
Yes, our first guest. Hopefully. We are trying. And it's actually going to be with my husband, Shams. He will be joining us a little later. We're trying to work out all the technical stuff.
I know, right? Especially since he's on the other side of the world right now?
Yep. He's in Egypt, so.
Yeah, and he's got, I know you said that he's got some paranormal stories to share, and I'd love to hear them because I've heard all your stories.
Yeah, my crazy paranormal stuff.
But you got really good stories, so maybe you can just get us started, get us in the mood, and we'll figure something out to bring him in.
Well, actually, speaking on things, this just happened to come up this morning. I came across, this isn't one of my paranormal stories, but I came across this video of something that they claim was caught in a photo when they were taking a picture of Sekhmet over in Egypt.
Who's that?
That she is a cat goddess. The Set's a cat goddess. Sekhmet is more, I don't know a lot about Sekhmet, but she's more of a warrior type cat goddess.
Okay.
And so I know that, but something appeared in the photo that they believe is, I can't pronounce her husband's name. So I don't want to butcher it. It starts with a P.
Okay.
Patut or something. I don't know how you say it.
Oh, so you mean like a tourist took a picture?
Yeah, and apparently something, it looks like a being, people are saying, or the guy said in the video that it looks like her husband is guarding her statue. And it appears, and I was like, wow, if that's true, this is really cool. And that, of course, it was funny because, what I was trying to do, and I posed a question in there, was that I just want to know, because a friend of mine was saying, oh, it's probably photoshopped right off the bat. And when I was looking in the comments, I wasn't seeing people saying that. A lot of people seem to feel like it was legit. The only unfortunate thing is, because we live in such a fear-based reality, because we're conditioned that if it doesn't look like us, fear it. Well, here's something to think about. How do you know that the ones that look like us, that who's wearing a suit and a tie, isn't? Because I'm hearing, demons. So in other words, if it doesn't look like a human, it's a demon. I hate to say this, but I think the demons are probably the ones that look like the humans.
I know, right? I know, that seems to be the default these days. If it's not like us and it's evil. Well, you and I were talking about earlier about why is it so important to some of these people to discredit somebody else's experience. I mean, okay, even if their experience was not something that was what they thought it was, why go through the trouble of convincing this person that they're wrong? I mean, what difference would that make in someone else's life who's leaving a comment on this video?
Because people have this ego. People get in these egos. I'm right and you're wrong. I have all the answers and you don't.
I know, but
that's what a lot of people it is. They get on an ego trip.
It's so absurd. If you really think about it, it's so absurd. These people have never met. They have absolutely no impact on each other's lives. And yet they spend the time and the energy to put in a comment to discredit somebody else's experience.
And I guarantee you they've never met an Egyptian god before either, and they're automatically know that it's a demon.
Yes. I mean, there's also that somebody believes that they know better than other people. But even so, what difference is that going to make in my life if I tell this person from across the globe that they're wrong?
Right. How is it benefiting? How is that?
I know, right? So I don't know. I don't get that. You know what I think? I think that a lot of these nasty comments that show up on social media are what I call NPCs, non-player
They're bots.
characters. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like the
Oh
like
yeah.
the audience in Wii Sports. You know how they with the tennis, it cracks me up. They look, they don't even know what they're following, but it keeps moving their head. It appears that they know what they're doing, but I wonder if there may be some truth to that. You know, the
Mm-hmm.
bots, like you said, and it's
Bots.
like, why are they even there? Like, who puts this stuff out?
I
For
couldn't.
what
I
purpose?
can't
I
help but
just don't
wonder.
get it. What's that?
I can't help but wonder if these social media giants, the ones that own these companies and that, they want to get more activity on their
Oh,
platform.
good
So let's put in,
point.
you know,
Good point. That's right.
stir the
Because
people up, and that'll keep them hooked.
yeah,
You know,
yes, that's right. You suck
and a
somebody
lot
into a
of
power
people love
struggle.
drama.
You're right.
You
That's a
know,
very good point. I hadn't thought about that. Oh wow. I bet you're right. I bet you. That's the only thing that makes sense. I never thought about it that way. Okay. All right.
of
Well,
course, we do just have arrogant people
yeah, I'm sure
that
there's some of
can't
that.
live without. They've got to be they're right on everything they say and everything. I'm like, I have yet to meet a human being
I
who
know,
is right
right?
about everything.
Oh,
Some people think they are,
here's
but
your
they're not.
hubby. Oh, I'm sorry. He sent us a message. He's on his way, and he's sorry he's running a little late.
Yeah.
That's from your hubby.
Well,
That's okay.
well, that's okay. We can do the show. I told him I have a set time. I can't.
Uh, let's
Unfortunately, I
see.
have to be somewhere today. I've got a
Yeah.
birthday party I've got to go to. Well, not party, but a birthday luncheon.
Well, you're just a party girl. I mean, last night,
I
was
know.
it last
I
night or the
am.
night
I'll
before?
tell you.
We had a Halloween party at your place, and that was a blast. And we had a little C5 afterwards. People caught
Hmm.
on camera all
Interesting
sorts of
photos.
things. Yeah, there was some
Those photos
interesting
were really
things that
cool.
came up.
And the
But
radios.
yeah, we didn't have any ghosts show up though. Not at the party. Not at
No,
the
but we
party.
definitely. But the funny thing is, and I want to explain to the audience, the front of my house was all about Halloween.
Oh, it was awesome.
You know,
It was
was
awesome.
all Halloween. Then you come around the back of the house and it's all ET.
I know, it was
So,
great.
and the whole idea was because it was the theme going on was because the first part of our party was going to be Halloween, and the second part was the
Yeah.
CE5, which was all ET.
Right. Once the sun went down, we switched gears.
And we
that was a lot
got
of
ET
fun.
stuff.
Yes, we sure did. We sure did. That was a lot of fun. That really was. So, what's your favorite story, your favorite paranormal story to tell?
Wow. Oh
I
my
only have
gosh.
one, and it's not that great.
I have multiple stories. And here's the funny thing. And people are going to be like, see? Because when I was a child, of course, my not so pleasant experiences were these demonic things showing up. They didn't show up first physical manifestations. I was a little girl, and but I lived in a household. Let me put this out there. I lived in a household that was very religious, right? And had those kind of fear-based,
Okay.
realities. So I always say this, you attract what you put out,
Good point.
And unfortunately I was a child, but that's what I was around all the time,
Yeah.
was that if it's, if it's something that's not in this reality, our 3D reality,
Right.
it's got to be something evil. So unfortunately, and I'm my brother was always putting on this horror stuff, shows, creature feature, all that.
Yeah.
It was always fear stuff. So people might say, oh, well, then you just dreamed it or whatever. No, this would happen when I was awake. But I think that what was going on was, well, let me put this out first. Okay. Yes, I was having the visitations in my dreams at first, but I was waking up, sweat Like the bed would be soaked, and I'd be actually running a fever.
Oh,
My
wow.
family, my parents would have to keep me out of school sometimes because, and I did not want to be. I wanted to be at school. Those were, and I hated school because I was bullied in that. But I wanted to be at school because I didn't want to deal with what was
In the house?
happening during
Oh,
my
wow.
sleep.
Wow.
But my older sister, we all had stuff going on in the house. Um, but it wasn't. I wanted to let you know it wasn't all negative. Because like again, I lived. My family, my parents were very, very Catholic,
That's okay.
and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Okay, but this is just my views, so I'm not trying to offend anyone out there. But a lot of that old world religion is based on fear,
Yeah, it
and
is.
if you do this, you're going to burn in hell. If you do this, you're going to go to hell. You're going to go to hell. Satan's around every corner, and it's like, I don't know. I came to a point in my life where, when I got older, I could see what was going on, and I realized that that's how they keep you under control, if they have you in fear.
Yeah.
This is just my view, guys. Okay. But I had an amazing awakening experience. And I've also, like I said, in my house, I also had these, we're going to talk paranormal because this is our
Well,
paranormal.
paranormal doesn't have to be all bad. Paranormal doesn't have to be scary stories.
No, I
There,
mean about,
so
I
it would be
meant
nice to
not
hear a couple
ET.
of both.
Yeah. I mean, ETs and paranormal can kind of go together, but this was, I want to say, I was just meaning the show that not about bad, but about paranormal.
Hmm.
And so we're talking spirits. I had, and sorry, I'm sucking on them.
Yeah, I know
Jolly
your
Ranchers.
throat's a little
My
sore.
voice has been hoarse. My voice has been hoarse this morning, so I'm sucking on these Jolly Ranchers. Um, but I had two spirits that were my imaginary friends, but they
Uh-huh.
weren't.
How old were you then?
um,
How old were you?
oh gosh, I was like five,
Oh, wow.
maybe.
So you were very little. Okay.
Even younger now. I'd say four. I was like four. It was before I had started kindergarten. But uh, here's the thing. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I'm flopping around in this
I'm
story,
going to
but
keep you straight because I want to hear a story.
okay,
So let's still talk about these two spirits. What, like you were five, what did they look like?
okay.
I mean, do
Well,
you
I was
have a
going to say
visual?
the only thing I was going to add was that these spirits were with because the first house we lived in, it it was just regular. There was nothing, but we moved in this one haunted house, or this one house, and it was definitely a haunted house.
Yeah, I saw
And
it. It is
I knew it the
creepy.
first time we moved in there. I could feel, you could feel the energy that it wasn't. But I met these two spirits. One was the name of Nina, and the other one, because I was always running around and going Nina, and the other one, this was not her name, but this is how I referred to her as, and I called her Mrs. Broken.
Oh,
And
yes, Mrs. Broken. That's right.
and I used to put uh, clothes basket over my head
Uh huh.
and pretend to, that this was my, not pretend to be her, but I would kind of put out like, this is who my friend is, and she's
Okay.
broke, so I call her Mrs. Broken. But later, as I got older, I realized that she passed away having a broken heart because her
Oh.
daughter passed before her.
Okay.
And Nina, I found out later when I was doing my, my intuition
Yeah.
stuff. Nina was her daughter,
Ah,
and they lived in this house. Now, here's the funny thing:
interesting.
I was little, never heard the name Nina before. Okay, I didn't even know to this day until, I mean, not to this day, but until maybe a few months ago, I decided to look up the name, the origins of Nina.
Mm.
And I was shocked. That's how I was like, wow, that was totally on point. That it originates a Latin name, or it's used, I don't know if it's Latin, but its origins, a lot of Latino
Right.
people,
Yeah.
that's a very common name. And we lived in Miami.
Yeah. So
And
that would
there's,
make sense. Yeah, that would make a lot of sense.
so it's interesting because I had never known anybody by the name of Nina. It wasn't like, and it wasn't a name I was hearing. It might be common, but it was not a name I had ever encountered when I was living there in Miami
Yeah.
as a child. And so, but Nina and Mrs. Broken were, my playmates, and I would sit and play,
How did you play
and
with them? I mean, how did you see them? How did you know they were there? Because clearly you were the only one who was seeing them.
yeah, um, they were. It's funny because this was even back when I was a child. I couldn't physically see them, but I could see them in my mind's eye. I could see them, and I'd be talking to them, and we would play, and I'd do tea sets and all this.
Oh, wow.
But here's the funny thing. My brother had a complete different experience. Let me show you how these go so close together. Okay? I used to walk around putting a clothes basket on my head. Kind of Mrs. Broken, right?
Why a clothes basket? You got to explain that before you move on. Because that's just silly. I mean, really.
Clothes basket, well,
like a laundry basket, right?
It got the design, the little squares.
Yeah. Okay,
and
that you can see through. Okay.
And a glass, it's not going to be perfectly patterned like that, but it would be, it wouldn't be just a straight piece. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
You know what I mean? Like, okay. I don't know. I didn't see it as a piece of, maybe because I couldn't put a piece of broken glass on me.
Ah, okay.
So,
I see. So that was the idea of broken.
Right.
Broken into sections like that. Okay.
I did feel like she was, if I remember correctly, I always felt like she was shopping. Here's the weird thing about it.
Okay. I see.
My brother physically saw, because I saw her as a heavyset woman, right? My brother physically saw a heavyset woman in his closet with a shopping cart.
Oh, wow.
Look how close the shopping cart, the clothes basket.
Yeah. Oh, that had to be the same spirit. Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So, but if you think how close a clothes basket has the little, I'm talking about the round clothes basket, has the squares. So does a shopping cart, has the little squares. So this, he physically saw it. I saw it in my mind's eye.
Yeah. The whole idea.
So look how close.
The whole idea of, this basket and the pattern that's on it, how that's similar. That's a perfect example of how two people can look at the same thing and just see it slightly differently, even though it is the same exact thing. Happens a lot with ETs too. That's why some people will look at the same object in the sky. Somebody will see a boomerang and somebody else will see a triangle. And then they discredit one another, thinking that one of them was wrong.
Exactly.
But it's the idea that gets communicated. Yeah.
Here's what's interesting about it. Because my brother physically saw it. Mm-hmm. Saw her. I don't want to say it. Her.
Right. Like a ghost.
I didn't physically see it. Yeah. And she was in his closet with the shopping cart. I did not, or not a shopping cart, but one of those baskets that but got the squares baskets. And you put the, I never saw her physically, but I was seeing her in my mind's eye.
Right.
I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's amazing. I didn't know I was having intuitive abilities back then.
Yeah, that was
I picked her up in a...
That was confirmation when your brother saw the same exact thing. Yeah.
Exactly. But he was terrified of her. And the reason was
like most
he's
kids.
Physically manifested. And, and of course, like I said, we're brought up in a fear-based reality. But I wasn't afraid of her. I didn't. Now, my thing that I was afraid of was we had all kinds of things happening in that house. I don't remember this because I was very little, but my family would hear my brother and my mom and all that would swear there was, my dad, he was I think he was so afraid of the stuff. So he right away would discount it and say, oh, it's probably the neighbors. Like, how can the neighbor get on neighbor kids get on the roof real quick and then get down and not be seen, because they were hearing ball bouncing on the ceiling. My mom and my brother would go running in there, and there would be nothing in there. It was always around dinner time. We would, they would hear this. Now, my experience when I was out, because we ate in the Florida room, there was a Florida room and overlooked the lake. My experience was um, how mine came about in the Florida room. Prior to that, I had this unnatural fear of men on motorcycles.
Okay.
And one would say, oh, it's because it was loud. No, it had nothing to do with it. I was petrified of the idea of anything to do with anybody being on a motorbike. And so, in fact, our neighbor had come over and was wanting to show off his motorbike, wondering if I wanted to go on a ride. And I was like, no, 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 no. It's like, I was freaking out. And we were going on our way to the grocery store. We were walking as kids, me and my sisters, and this is the time after the neighbor, right? Mm-hmm. And a guy on a motorcycle started racing up and down the alleyway, because we would walk behind the grocery stores to get to the park. Mm-hmm. And I shrieked in fear.
Oh my goodness.
Frozen, trying to climb the fence and everything, and just like, I mean, when I say frozen, I meant like, I was frozen fear, but out of panic, I managed to go and climb the fence.
Right.
Oh, Sam's is messaging.
Okay. Well, I can't, if I switch to him, I will be recording that message. Do you? Oh. So I don't know. Hang on. Let me see if I can look at my phone. Hang on just a second.
Okay. While you're doing that, I'll finish telling the story.
Yes.
So what happened was, in that Florida room, I was out there with my little sister, and I do remember a man standing behind the screen door. I could see him, and he had...
He's not messaging me.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then anyway, it's me.
Yeah, and you're on your phone right now, so you can't really answer.
Yeah, I can, but it's just like I'm gonna... my screen might look funny for a minute.
That's okay. I'll send him a message and I'll tell him to contact me through Messenger. You continue your story.
Oh, okay, good. Yes, that works. Okay. So, but I saw this man outside the screen door, and he had on a black leather jacket and blue jeans, and he had blood all over it, and he had a motorcycle helmet in his hand. And I said to my sister, because my sister is the one who recalled it, she says, I remember that. And you you said there's a man outside the door, and my sister said something like, what man? And I said, the man is dead. No.
At your front door?
Yeah, outside the screen door at the Florida room.
Oh my goodness.
And my sister remembers this. And after that, after I acknowledged him and all that, fear gone with motorcycles.
Isn't that interesting?
In fact, I've ridden on motorcycles and everything. My ex-husband used to own a motorcycle. That was our main transportation. No more fear of motorcycles.
So you were
more fear.
You were picking him up subconsciously and were afraid of him, but once you saw him, that's why the fear went away.
When he physically manifested, and I guess he just wanted to let it know that maybe he was sad because he died before, didn't realize he was dead.
Right.
I don't know.
Right. Well, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, when somebody died in a motorcycle accident, if you think about it, that's a pretty sudden death. I mean, with a car accident, maybe, you're injured, obviously, but if you end up, in the hospital, but with a motorcycle accident, there are a lot of, people who just die right on site because the accident, you don't have anything to protect you. So it would make sense that he was a little confused and probably didn't move on because it was so sudden. Yeah, it was not.
Yeah, and then it all stopped. Is Shams able to get in?
No, I am waiting for him to reply, and I haven't heard, and he has not been appearing on the screen here, so I don't know.
It's
okay. I mean, it's not like this is the only time we can interview him, and plus, this is our first interview, and it would make total sense that it wouldn't work smoothly. I mean, we tried to do this on Saturday at your house because we were, together at your party. And we had all kinds of technical difficulties there because I didn't have my laptop. So, it makes sense that we're going to have some hiccups. This is why we want to work all those things out before we have anybody else on
Right.
our show to be our guinea pig. Yeah, Sham's going to be our guinea pig for now.
You know why? Because he's sitting there asking, did you start yet? I'm like, yes. I said, she sent you the link.
Yeah, I messaged him. I messaged both of you the link, but it's okay. I mean, what time is it where he's at right now?
It's 10 to 6.
10 to 6. Oh, in the evening. Okay. So it's
Yeah.
not too bad, but to him it's
So,
the middle of the day because he's a night owl, so, or maybe not. I don't know. In any case, if we don't
I hope that's not showing up on the screen.
it's not showing up. I don't see anything, and even if it was, we could edit it out. But anyway, so the motorcycle guy, I remember that story. There was another story that you told me when you were doing your karaoke business. There was a group of people who walked in, and you kind of had a bad feeling about them. Do you remember that story? Is that something you're comfortable sharing?
I don't mind sharing it. I want to let everybody know too, though, just to put this out there, not trying to, I guess, okay, it's a plug for myself, I guess. Say, I actually have all these stories along with other things.
Yeah, you do.
Not all paranormal. ET, those kind of stories and that. In my latest book that I have out called Misfit, a life review of an unknown woman, because obviously I'm not known around the world. That's my book.
Yep.
And
you can actually see it pretty good. It's awesome. What just happened? Oh, I guess my camera adjusts. But anyway, yeah, this is. I've read it already because you've read it to me as you were writing it, and it's a cliffhanger. I mean, absolutely fascinating experience.
It's wild because it's my real story. It's not fiction.
Right. Yeah, that's what makes it even more interesting. Yeah.
And the funny thing is that if people are wondering, okay, well, why do I have so much activity? I think it's a generational thing. My mom has had her own experiences, but she don't like to, I'm just slowly starting to learn more things. But I think it's because my mom is so in that old world religion views. I think, it's just kind of harder. Everybody's at different learning levels. So I am not, believe me, I'm not trying to throw shade when it comes to organized religion. I'm just saying it doesn't, for me, I just have different views, different feelings with it. So, but some people, that's their comfort and that's saving for them too. So,
that's good. So, that story. That's a really creepy story. It freaked me out.
Okay. Yes, that happened much later in my life. That was when I was working at a place in Ocala, Florida called the Charlie Horse. And I was just doing my usual thing, lining my singers up, getting them ready for, to sing and that. And of course, I have when I have the music playing and that, I have to turn my back to, because back then, karaoke was not like how it is today, where everything now is digital and you can just bring it up. Back then you had physical CDs, and I had all these machines, and I'm having to go and get the CD out and put it in and all that. So when I had my back turned, it was weird. Well, before I had my back turned, just before this group of people came in, I had this overwhelming feeling of, it freaked me out. I sensed something very, very dark and uncomfortable. And I was like, and I was getting these images.
How many of them were there? Do you remember? Were they both men and women? Do you remember?
Yes, they were both men and women. There was 6 to 8 people.
Oh, okay.
So, a good sized group.
Okay, yeah. You notice when a group like that walks in, that's enough people to grab your attention.
And immediately when they walked in, I was getting these images of, I just out of nowhere, I was seeing all this like satanic rituals stuff.
Ooh.
Like
Yeah.
it was freaking me out, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I only had that kind of really uncomfortable feeling once at one of my shows before then, but it was not a group. It had to do with one man.
Okay.
Okay. Um, but when this group, they came in, they were also not acting, what I would say, like, I don't know, there was something weird about them. You know, they were being like really loud and that, which yes, you're gonna have people go to bars or whatever and be really loud, but these people, there was something I knew that didn't sit quite right. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I was like, okay, Monique, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, you're just overreacting.
Your hubby just asked
And
me
I
for
was
the
like,
link, so we'll see what happens.
okay,
Anyway, continue.
but yeah. So I turned my back to go get the CDs ready because I'm like, okay, you got to focus on work. And as I did, all of a sudden I sensed someone behind me. And here you go. The main guy from the group was stood right behind me. And it was weird because I heard a voice in my head, a male voice in my head,
Oh,
say to
wow.
me, whatever you do, don't show fear. And I'm like,
Wow.
okay. And so this guy, I'm thinking, okay, what's he gonna do? You know, okay, I guess he's gonna ask for a song, but why am I, I'm thinking in my head, why am I being told don't show fear? All of a sudden, he's not going to put a song up. He was,
Shh. That's my dog. Hang on a
Teddy.
second. You keep going with your story. I gotta let him out. Hang on. But you
Okay.
keep going, okay? You keep going.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
So I'll say he was kind of a little heavy set. He had a little bit of a pot belly, red hair, mustache, beard. And all of a sudden, he says to me, I bet I can F with you.
Well,
And I just stood there
out of the
stern.
blue,
Because,
just like that. That's
yeah, and I'm
a
thinking to
little
myself, okay,
inappropriate
this is
and
why I'm
freaky.
being told not to show fear. What's going to happen
Yeah.
next? You know, and right after he said that, his eyes, you couldn't see, they went completely solid black
Oh my god.
right in front of me.
Like
And
you
I'm
see in
like,
the movies with the when you see those scary
yeah,
movies.
you would think that this was just like,
Oh my god,
you
that would
know,
have totally freaked me
you wouldn't
out.
think that it would be real, but it
But it
was
is.
very real.
Oh my gosh.
But I didn't react and I said, I don't think so. I said it very stern, not like, but I was like, I don't think so. That's
Yeah.
where I was. And I just stood there holding my ground. And after that, he acted all funny and human like. That's when he like changed and he just kind of shook his head and he said, and his eyes were back to normal. And he said, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. And then that group was all quiet and normal acting the rest of the night. Well, it had really freaked me out. And so I went and talked to the manager of the place. I didn't tell about
Right,
the,
right.
because some people over there night thinking, woo.
Right.
But I said about I said that they were acting very suspicious, and I felt very nervous about when I'd have to break down the show later. I didn't want anybody waiting for me in the parking lot. So they had the bouncer
Help you out.
escort me the whole time.
Now, do you think that maybe those were just like regular people who maybe were under the influence of something, or do you think they were the actual real thing showing up in human form?
I felt like they were the actual
Oh, really?
real thing. That was the feeling I had, and
Oh,
it
wow.
was really weird was because
Your hubby's here.
I had okay.
Let's see how it works. Oh, look at that. It's showing right in the middle. And
We all
See me
got
showing right in the middle?
there you
we all got
are.
our Halloween kind of stuff. There he is. Yay.
Yeah, is it working good now?
Yes, the only
Yep.
thing is, for some reason, when the two of you are talking, it goes back and forth between your profile picture and your actual face. And I don't know if that's just part of my settings I gotta mess around with. So
Well, I see both of you
don't
now
know.
side by side, but me, I'm just like pop
Yeah,
up
it's
message
okay.
or something like
You know
that.
what? I am not going to mess with it because I don't want to mess it up. I mean, finally, the three of us are in one place. And so, yeah, Monique, when you
Yep.
talk, his screen
This is
goes
my
to-
hubby.
Hi,
Hello to you.
Shams.
Alright. Alright.
So, welcome
Let me
to
know
our
whenever.
show that is just plagued with technical difficulties still. But
Is it done yet or not? Or still going?
we're still going. We're still about at the halfway mark, so you got plenty of time
No,
to
I
tell
mean
us.
about the technical issue. Is it done or still going?
Yes, we're living with it. It's good enough. Let's just put it that way. It's good enough. You'll see when I send you the link to download the video because he's our tech guy.
Yeah.
Yes, he edits our videos and adds the intro and all of that. So he's kind of part-time part of our third eye sister soul. He's a third eye, I
I'm the
guess.
third guy.
I'm one eye. Monique is another eye because anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to finish up real quick with this story.
Okay, yeah,
Because
go
here's
ahead.
where it gets really creepy. The next day after my show, and I got all my equipment and everything put away because I had the bouncer walking me
Right.
back and forth to my car. I had been off. Then the next day, I had a show in Leesburg, and my boss comes up to me and says 2 detectives came in looking for you. I thought he was joking. I'm like,
Oh,
oh yeah,
wow.
right. And he says, no, here's their card and that. And I'm like, what the heck? Why are 2 detectives looking for me? Well, it turned out, I'll try to make this short, but I find, I couldn't call him. It was on top of the weekend. Finally, when I called, one of the detectives answers the phone after the operator put me through and started asking me questions and said, are you blonde? Are you such and such height? And I'm like, yes. Are you such and such weight? Yes. And then asked me if I had a tattoo of either a dolphin, or not either, but if I have a dolphin tattoo and a sun tattoo on me. I said, I don't have any tattoos because at that time I didn't have tattoos, not like now.
Yeah.
In my rebellious years now. I was like, no, I don't have any tattoos. And the next thing he says is, thank God you're alive. I'm like, wow,
What?
I'm glad too. Thank
I
you for
bet.
for clarifying that.
Wow.
And I said, like, what is this all about? And he says, well, I can't go into too much detail. He said, but we found a body in the Ocala National Forest that had been decapitated.
What?
And guess they found the head and the body.
Oh, man,
And
that's really creepy.
and here's the thing. And I was like, well, how did I said, was my business card on her? This murder victim? He said, we can't disclose that. But it was
Interesting.
weird because it was right after that incident.
And she looked just like you, the victim.
She looked like me.
That's creepy as heck.
Yep. So anyways, that's my story. Now, Shams, we can...
So you know
So you're talking
Shams'
about
stories.
Halloween and creepy stories, huh? Yeah.
What's your
well,
favorite
come to
one?
Egypt and see what we will have. What?
I was asking, what's your favorite story that you like to share about your paranormal
Me?
experiences?
Well, that happened from like few days ago,
Oh,
and
no
it was
way.
going for like a month. Yeah, and it was going like for a month. Okay. Um, when I used to go walking in my apartment, going to make some tea, getting something to eat or something like that. When going through the living room, okay, I smell like perfume, amazing smell of perfume, okay,
Oh,
coming out from just one spot in the living room, okay. I told Monique that too,
uh-huh.
happened with me. And I go and trying to smell this, if it's the smell coming from anywhere from the neighborhood or from outside or
Right,
anything.
right.
I go to the balconies, there is nothing. I go to the other rooms, there is nothing. Bathroom, kitchen, there is nothing. Only coming from the middle spot in my living room. Okay. And then the other day, um, I smelled something we call bukhur here in Egypt. It's something you get some burning coal and
Like
just something
incense?
giving good smell.
Okay, like incense,
Yeah,
kind
it
of.
sounds like that, like
Okay,
that. Yeah.
okay.
So it's give a good smell also in the whole apartment. Okay, is that we used to have it in Fridays, like holidays. Okay,
Right.
and that smells that too. That's like, okay, I'll go and check again. I was talking to one of my friends, and I told him about this. And I smell a good smell in the apartment, especially from says video stop or something. No, it's still going. I told him special from this spot in my living room. He said, "Well, be careful." Okay.
Be careful, huh?
I started talking. Yeah. Once I started talking about this, I felt like my hair thin and my body have chills all over my body. I was like,
Oh,
okay, okay, I'm done.
oh,
And then I go
wow.
back to my room. Yeah. Well, that didn't scare me. Um, like, just get scared like 10%.
Just
Why?
10%.
Because, yeah, 10%.
That's a good way to
Yeah.
measure it, man. That's the best way to measure it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like, if I smell, I believe that if there's a good smell and nothing is hurting me physically,
Right.
that means something, it's a good spirit around me, you know?
Okay.
Yes.
So I didn't get that
Agree.
scared. Like they call it that, like the protective or the house or the apartment. It's like that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what happened with me from 2 years ago. But there
I
is a
love
lot of
it.
experience happening with me. Yeah.
It's
Wow.
how long would that was that? How long did that go on? The smell.
Um, for like a month or 90 days.
Oh my goodness! It was that like every
Wow.
day?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow! And then it just stopped.
And you know what is very funny? Once one of my family come to visit me here,
Mm-hmm.
okay, the smell is gone, nothing was going on. It's all gone. I didn't smell it anymore.
Right.
Like my sister was with me here for like 2 days or something, and then my mother come to visit me for like 2 days too, and the smell is gone. Nothing, no
That's
one,
wild.
nothing was going on. Yeah, it just like only happened when I was alone, sitting alone in the
Ah,
apartment.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
interesting.
that's what did I realize actually. Because
You know,
when
it
someone
makes
visiting
me
me, there's not.
it makes me think that possibly it was it liked your energy. You know, I'm not saying that it didn't like, but probably was trying to be respectful of your
Or
time with
maybe
your sister and your mother, you know.
yeah, or maybe female spirit was flirting with me, right? Or was just coming
Well,
up to me.
I
Hey,
don't doubt that
I
could
forgive you,
happen.
honey. I've had plenty of things flirting with me, so I forgive you because
Mm,
I need you to forgive me too.
Oh my gosh, you guys are hilarious. You are hilarious. Yeah, that's
it's
really,
crazy, it's
really
crazy.
trippy. So you
It
didn't,
is.
Shams, you didn't notice anything else weird happening in your place aside from that? Everything else was
Well,
just
not
normal?
not in this place,
Okay.
but it was in other place. Was when I was like 10 years old.
Oh,
Okay,
Mm.
yeah. I had to go to visit my uncle. He lives far away from us in different area.
Is that
So
Jordan, by any chance?
no, not Jordan. It's still in
Oh,
Egypt, but
oh, okay.
in some other place, not Cairo. It's
Oh, okay.
some other place, another state. You can say
Okay.
so. And when I did go to visit him, we had it was like a weird place, like farmer uh, state.
like a
Does have a lot
farm?
of yeah.
Okay.
So when I did go to visit him, it was me and my dad and my mother and my nephew. We had to go to get uh, some bread to eat to
Mm-hmm.
get our dinner. Okay. And we didn't know about this area too much because we just are visiting.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to go to my other uncle, and when we going to him, you have to go through a graveyard.
Oh,
A big,
oh,
yeah, it's a big open graveyard.
uh,
And it was at the night.
oh,
Okay.
jeez. Oh, this is gonna be good.
Yeah. And while I was walking, yeah, you can laugh. My nephew was saying, like, we say, peace upon you, like, assalamu alaikum, to someone who's sitting down. Okay, someone like was sitting down on the ground, and he have his legs like this and his hand like
Oh,
this,
wow.
just laying down
Okay.
like this. We thought it's a poor man who's just sitting down,
Yeah.
and he's homeless, and he's just sitting over here. Okay, so my nephew did go try to go closer to him, and we told him, be careful. We are in a graveyard because we hear a lot of stories
Oh, of
about this
course.
area. We told him, be careful. He say, don't worry, it's nothing. And once he just to get closer to this guy, like the guy was sitting like this, and then look at him, like just in the movies, the horror movies, he just
Yeah.
get his head
Oh my God.
up slowly like this, and his eyes was like burning, like you get keys from hell and put it inside his eyes with all red,
What? Oh my
and we
gosh.
just run.
Oh
No
yeah.
one look after him.
That's
We
freaky.
just run. Like he
Oh my
just
God.
like we forgot even about our nephew, what's going to happen to him. Eat him, kick him, whatever it's going to happen, and we just run. Everyone for his life.
Wow.
I would have done the same thing. It's like every man for himself at that point. Jeez, Louise.
Mhm.
That was so creepy. Like this is the most like terrifying experience I have
And
tried.
I can see why the perfume was only 10% scary.
yeah,
If this would be
I'm
100%.
curious.
Yeah,
I'm curious
yeah.
about something. Uh,
Mhm.
have did you discover? Okay, I know for me, it started at a very young age that you. I don't know why, but there seems to be a connection for people who are sensitive. When I mean sensitive, I don't mean sensitive like people who cry or something like that, but
Uh-huh.
sensitive to feeling energy, to feeling things, that you started getting like premonitions of the future, things that, because they're finding that people who are able to sense things like ETs and spirits and that start discovering that their intuitive abilities, which every human has, but not every human is open up to.
Yeah, they
Well,
usually the
I have
psychic
been told,
abilities come in groups. Yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, I have been told about this a lot. Like, um, one of my friends did say, like, about me, you have a good spirit. You can expect things are going to happen in the future. You feel, you see some visions about what's going to be happening in the future. Like, here's one time it happened for me, and it's something sad, you know. You remember the cats I used to have at my mom's place, right?
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. There
Yeah,
was
of
one of
course.
the
They
cats.
was sleeping with me all the time. Phil. No,
Yeah,
not
Velvet.
Phil, the other one, the female.
Yeah. There was one of the cats are missing because we used to have like 12 cats
Oh
in the
wow.
apartment. Okay.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
There was one of the cats. Yeah, I know. There was one of the cats are missing for 2 days. Okay.
Mm.
And it just happened to me while I was sitting down on the couch. I feel like I just uh, had my eyes closed, like fall asleep. When you faint or you just like lose balance, getting
Okay.
dizzy
Hmm.
or something like that. That's what happened with me. I had my eyes closed, like I just fall asleep for just like 5 seconds. In this 5 seconds, I saw like a car in my street, in the street in front of my apartment. This car just moved away, and my cat was laying down
Oh no.
on the
Deceased,
spot.
passed away.
So I
She got
just
ran
opened
over.
my eyes again. and yeah, I go down to the street and I see the car I saw in my vision. Okay, and I just look under the car and I found them.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Oh, that
Listen,
is sad.
my
yeah.
dog's barking again. Now I have to let him in after I let him out. But I'll be back. You guys keep going. I'll be right back.
Okay,
No problem.
take your
So,
time.
would you say that was probably your first experience of
No,
feeling like it has, knowing that you were able to see things before they happen, or was there anything before
no.
then that you
Actually,
can
this was
remember?
not my first experience. This was
Okay.
not my first. I used to like when Egypt is going to play a football match or something here. I used to like guess the score.
Oh,
What is the score is going to
Nice.
be?
oh, that can come in
Yeah, and
handy.
I challenge my friends for
Should have did
this.
bets.
I challenge my friends for this, and sometimes you used to make like a bet for it. Like I bet like it's going to be winning, losing. So this was not my first about the cat. I used to do that from long time ago, but
Mm-hmm.
then it started going step by step because maybe I get busy in my life and my problems. Life
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
make us so busy. Yeah,
Yeah, when you're younger, it seems that we're much more sensitive to our psychic abilities, probably
that's
because
true.
Yeah.
life hasn't started
Yeah,
yet. Like you said, Shams, when
Yeah.
life gets going, all kinds of things start to
Yeah. All
distract
kinds of, and
us.
we don't always notice
yeah,
stuff because we're so caught up in our analytical world of, you know,
Yeah,
oh, gotta go to such and such, and
yeah. Hey, can I
yeah.
ask you a
because our
question?
mind and the brain, like there's too much
Right, yes.
ideas and problems, like so it just cut us from others.
Yeah, in order for those
Okay.
psychic abilities to show up, we gotta be more calm. But I'm really
Right.
curious. I went to Egypt, I don't know, once about 20 years ago. And it always fascinated me when I was there because it seemed like you could feel it in the air that people had
Mhm.
lived there, had been living there for a really long time, which is very different from the feel you have here in the States.
Yeah.
There's just something about it. Are there, like, is there a history of spirits, old spirits popping up, of pharaohs and those
Ancient.
Egyptian gods, and
Yeah.
there's so many amazing stories that are myths or legends that I wonder, they say that there's always a kernel of truth in every myth. So
Yep.
there's so many interesting gods and characters, and just Egypt has an amazing history. uh,
Beautiful history.
yeah, are there places where people go and they're, I don't want to say haunted, but I don't know what other words, what term to use, where you can actually
Where the
go?
the residual energy of the gods,
Yeah,
especially,
yeah, that's what
you
I
can
mean.
still feel it when you're
Mm.
there. I know when I was in that tomb, some stuff was going on.
I remember the first time you come to visit Egypt, and like the first thing she was doing it, I need to touch this stone. She was like,
Oh
felt
wow.
like, oh my God, like she just want to put her hand on the
Yes,
stone of the big pyramid.
Oh, what did
I
you
Actually, she
did.
feel?
goes there and sit down on the big pyramids, and it was just like meditating over
Mhm.
there, and she was sitting down.
And that's how the whole
It was a good
Sobek
feeling.
thing started. I had Sobek popped in my head front and center, and he was
Yeah,
beautiful. I mean, the gold, like I saw like a golden white light around him, and it was like gold illuminations off his skin, but it was just a side view,
So,
and his eye was closed.
who's
And
Sobek?
then
Because I don't think a lot of people know.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sobek is the crocodile-headed god of the Nile. He's got a
I
crocodile
love the
head and a
Nile.
human body.
Okay.
And his eye was closed, and all of a sudden it opened, and I heard awakened. So,
Oh
which
wow.
was really wild, but it felt so beautiful, loving energy, nothing negative. Okay, I want to put that out there. A lot of people associate crocodile, oh, evil,
Yeah.
No, no, they're not demons, all this, nothing like that. It was beautiful, wonderful. I felt very, um, welcomed and invited. And but that's how with my book series, and that's why it says the awakening of an. So it says when life
Yeah.
and dreams meet, the awakening of an ancient god. Because when you meditate, you're kind of in that dream state. You know, I wasn't asleep, but you're kind of in that
It's an
dream
altered
state.
state. Yeah.
That altered, yeah. And I'll tell you something, and I'm gonna say this in front of
Hang on.
Shams.
Wait. We are 5 minutes to the hour. I'm just letting you know how much time
Okay.
we have. That's all. Go ahead.
Okay, before so I'll just say when I, you know, my one of my first trips there,
Mhm.
and Shams took me to the pyramids, that day. This was the first time. Okay, this isn't the time when I did the meditation. When my foot literally crossed over, because there's a half wall, and when it literally crossed over to from the city to the desert where the pyramids are, I felt euphoric. It felt like I went into another dimension and I didn't want to leave. I was just like, oh my gosh, this feels good. I could stay here forever. And
Well, there's no water over there. It's like a desert.
but
You're
it
going
was
to
there. I
starve and get thirsty.
but I felt, you know what? I felt nourished by the energy. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, did it feel
Just
amazing.
the
But
idea, the idea of feeling when you touch that stone and just remember and thinking about that from like hundreds of years ago, there was like an ancient guy who was holding that stone and put it
Right.
side by side to
yeah.
build this structure. You just think, just the idea when you do that, like, wow.
Well, I do
Yeah.
psychometry too,
That's mind
so
blowing.
I'm able to feel. I'm able to read. You know, it's one of my intuitive abilities, and I'm able to pick up energy. That's why I wanted to put my hand on the stone.
Yeah,
But I will say, honey, remember about when the first time we went there, with when you said feels like seems like all of Egypt is here. All the locals who don't normally, you know, it's usually more of a tourist thing, but like all the locals happened to be there that day. Remember
yeah,
that?
yeah. I remember. I remember. It
That
was
was
like
weird.
so crowded. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that
everyone
was.
was saying, "Welcome to Egypt. Hi, how?" Like it was so friendly. You
And
remember?
yeah, the people were running up to me and wanting to get my picture.
She felt like she's a movie star or some
Oh,
superstar.
wow.
She felt like that. They make her feel that. Yeah.
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 It's probably, I mean, I'm sure some of it had to do with your blonde hair, but then again, if you felt right at home there, I have a feeling there might be some history. Maybe you have some
Yeah,
past
yeah.
lives there.
I was homesick,
It's not of
and
her blonde hair, just like welcoming her in
it
Oh,
was
Egypt.
more
my.
specifically. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were people that wanted families coming up wanting pictures with me, that
That's right.
were like they were just like, I don't know how to explain it, but they were blown away and they were like, "Oh, I gotta get. Can I please have a picture?"
Wow.
I'm like, "Okay." It happened. Remember when we were doing the whole marriage process thing? That woman, and I put this in the story, but because I made it a semi fantasy fiction
Yeah,
story,
yeah,
I
yeah.
kind of elaborated. There was stuff that didn't occur, but I just thought it would fit the story. But it was all true about a woman coming up, and she told Shams that I had that I looked like an angel, you know,
Oh.
and she could
Oh.
barely walk. I mean, this woman had nothing, and I was just, to me, that was the biggest, most, you know, I was so humbled and grateful. I was like, wow, you actually, you know, are
Yeah.
smiling and everything. And I'm like, what a beautiful person. He really was. So, anyways, I
Wow.
I
just
told
wanted
her she is hiding her wings aside. So
to, yeah.
but she said you're an angel.
Oh, that's
Angel.
so cute. Well, listen, you guys, we are at the 1 minute mark. So if there's anything you want to add, speak now or forever hold your peace. Well, not really. We'll have other episodes. But that just sounded like a cool thing to say. So,
Yep.
you got
Well, there's
anything
any other
else?
question on that? Well, for me, I would say there is a good spirits, and bad spirits, because I have tested both of them. Okay, uh, so not, but because we are human, we just get scared or terrified from the unknown because we
Right.
don't
Yes,
know this world, because we don't
exactly.
have any ideas about it. So we just get scared. Maybe
Yeah,
it's a good spirit, maybe it's a bad spirit. So
Yeah, just because
right.
that's what
something
I
looks
like.
scary, that doesn't mean there's a reason to be afraid of it.
Right. I was just gonna
Yeah.
say, sometimes things around, but we have protectors. I always tell people we have protectors around us, and you know, some of it can be that we agreed to it in our life contract to have that encounter and that. Even, I mean, it's so funny. Life is not all ups, it's ups and downs. It's a big mixture, and it's all in to shape us and to help us evolve our souls. And
Yep.
that's
Yep,
how
that's
I
true.
see it.
Yep. Well,
Mhm.
that sounds like a good spot to end, because if we get going into another story, we're going to keep going. And you have an appointment, and I
That's
got to
right.
go. So,
Yeah.
well, Shams, thank you for coming to our
Thank
show
you.
and putting up with all of
You're
our technical
welcome.
difficulties.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you,
Thank
thank
you
you,
for
thank
having me.
you.
Be our first guest.
Yep, I know, right? All right, you guys. We'll see you next time. Thank you,
Okay.
Bye.
Shams.
Bye.
Bye. Bye
Bye, hubby.
bye.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.